Hello everyone and welcome to Path Insider. I am Dr. Ramya Suresh, head of the Newsletter and Cultural Subcommittee of KC-IAPM. PathVarna is the official newsletter of KC-IAPM, and every issue we interview some eminent pathologists who have contributed immensely to the field of pathology. It is my privilege to welcome one such distinguished pathologist who has nearly 4 decades of experience in laboratory medicine. He has been at the forefront of advancing diagnostics and quality assurance in India and abroad. Some of his contributions span pioneering work in cytology, histopathology, and key roles in laboratory accreditations nationally and internationally. He has led various organizations as president, such as the Indian Academy of Cytologists, our very own KC-IAPM, and the Indian Society of Renal and Transplantation Pathology. He's also served as the Joint Secretary of IAPM. Honored with multiple awards and orations, he continues to inspire generations of pathologists with his commitment to excellence and innovation in laboratory medicine. He is the director of Neuberg Anand Global Reference Laboratory and Neuberg Anand Academy of Laboratory Medicine, Dr. Jayaram N. Iyengar. Thank you, sir, for being with us here today, and what an honor it is for me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ramya. Thank you, PathVarna. Thank you, KCIAPM. In fact, my special appreciation to your entire team of PathVarna and to KCIAPM for bringing in that initiative where we are showcasing and promoting the artist in the pathology. And it's otherwise pathology is a rather a mundane subject, and bringing in that, of course, we deal with a lot of colors. But then it makes it life more colorful as a pathologist when we bring in the other aspects of fine arts and various things, which activities that you're doing in PathVarna. And I think this is having a ripple effect across the country, and I'm sure the neighboring countries are also looking up to you for inspiration. It's a wonderful job, and it's a unique experience to be sitting here in front of you.
Thank you, sir. The pleasure is all ours. So let's go back to the very beginning. You started off at Osmania University and then PGI Chandigarh, and now you're the director of one of the most reputed laboratories we know of. Take us through that journey and perhaps share some pivotal moments that have shaped your career.
It's a long journey, and I'm sure I hope I'm not going to bore you with many events. Fortunately for me, the journey across these years has not been all that tumultuous, I should say, compared to what we see in the current scenario. The path which, or rather the way in which different options opened up for me were rather pretty straightforward, I must say. Firstly, question is, how come I landed up in Osmania University? I'm born in Karnataka. My parents are from Hassan. My father was transferred to Hyderabad when I was very young. So I did all my education in Hyderabad. And when it came to the place when you need to get into a professional course, things were not as complicated as they are today. In Andhra, at least, we had a very simple equation where the entire state was divided into 3 zones. One was Telangana, that was the unified Andhra Pradesh. So one was Telangana, one was Andhra Pradesh, the other was Rayalaseema. And whatever medical colleges were there in these areas, the students who were domiciled to those zones could select those colleges where they could study. And in the entrance exam, the ranking system was such that the distribution was all prefixed. Like for the current year, if number 1 goes to Osmania, number 2 goes to my college, Gandhi Medical College, and number 3 goes to Warangal. And that used to take a turn the next exam. So the selection was pretty straightforward, and we were not really bothered about what the results are going to be. In fact, after taking the exam, I was enjoying my my vacation at home, a friend of mine called and said, you've been selected for medicine. So that's how the entire journey started. And we had a pre-medical course where we had to study physics, chemistry, biology, and English all over again for 6 months. And that was kind of a icebreaker for most of us. And it was a kind of picnic. We enjoyed life then. Now coming from there to the postgraduate entrance, that was the first time I faced failure, though it was a very brief period of failure. I failed miserably in the entrance exam, and that's when I realized that it's not only your individual capability or hard work, but then there are many things which play a role in the entrance exam. You guys are very well aware of that.
But I don't think any of us will believe about you.
No, it didn't happen. I think failures make one wiser. That didn't deter me from, I didn't give up anything then, because parallelly I had taken up my exam for the Public Service Commission, UPSC, and I had a medical officer's job in CGHS. Parallelly, one turning point was my professor of medicine. Here, I think I should mention here that destiny has been very good to me, and I'm a strong believer in destiny. So it so happened that the professor allowed me to work as a senior resident in the Department of Medicine. During the mornings, I was doing my CGHS posting in the evening, so I really didn't waste much time. And parallelly, keeping in touch with the MCQs and all those things. And the other thing was, in 1983, I took the first entrance exam in PGI. But then we had to go for PGI, you go to Chandigarh, for AIMS, you go to Delhi. So different places. We traveled the country taking 6 exams, 8 exams, different places of India. Fortunately for me, though, like many others, I was enamored by clinical subjects. So I wanted orthopedics, I wanted medicine, pediatrics. Fortunately for me, thinking back now, fortunately for me, I did not get selected. I was waitlisted in some of them. So I came back, waited for a year, parallelly not wasting much time, preparing for the exam. And that's where again destiny, I think, had a very strange twist. It was 1984, August, around August 1st to 2nd week of August, immediate following Operation Blue Star. We were a handful of people. We mustered all the courage, went to Chandigarh, and that was a different experience. You had a whole lot of gun-toting militarymen. We were escorted, 10 of us were escorted by 15 army people to the exam center. Such was the security. Luck would have it, the competition was less, and I could gain an entry into pathology. Though there again, I had given medicine, pediatrics, and pathology. In fact, my professor of pathology said, so pathology was your third choice. And that's how it was. And no regrets. So that was how I got into PGI, prestigious institute, continues to be one of the premium institutes of the country, premier institutes of the country, had a wonderful set of teachers. And that's where I got shaped into being a diligent pathologist. Again, stroke of destiny, the options were that I continue as an academic pathologist, or I did not know what I should do, whether I get into a practice and so on. Stroke of destiny, again, I landed up with the marriage alliance with the daughter of Dr. Ram Prasad, who was running this Anand Diagnostic Laboratory for almost a decade at that time. 1974, this lab was established, and that changed the entire, my profile, the way I needed to look at my future career, and it was a no-brainer. So I landed up after my post-graduation and after my senior residency, some additional training in immunology. By then, I was focused on private practice, joining a lab and building up the lab with a good technical and scientific knowledge. So that's where I selected a couple of senior residency topics where I could focus on areas that I could implement directly in practice. One was cytology. I did a huge part of my senior residency, almost a year plus, in cytology. Again, as luck would have it, the senior faculty in cytology were on sabbatical, and I had only one of my teachers, Dr. Rajvanshi, he was there, and then there was one more pathologist senior to us. So I think for the first time ever, the independent reporting of a good number of reports was passed on to me. And that was where, the clinicians also were a little sore with Dr. Rajvanshi, but then he convinced them that I am there, I am responsible, that is, he is responsible for whatever reports are there, and he has confidence in me. That was a major, boost to my confidence. And that's where I realized that unless you are directly accountable and answerable, you do not blossom as a pathologist. You cannot blossom under a shadow of somebody else. So that was another defining point. And by the time after that, I took up immunology, dabbled a little with the immunofluorescence, and then histocompatibility testing and all that, which was not commonly practiced in India. And I gained some knowledge as to how we can do immunofluorescence. Around that time, Dr. Ram Prasad asked me, okay, you're going to come to Bangalore shortly. Tell me what you need when you land here. I told him I want to start immunofluorescence. I want to start tissue cross-match, CDC cross-match. So done. By the time I landed here, there was a high-end fluorescent microscope and, of course, basic paraphernalia required for cross-matching. I came and set it up here, but we had the setup. And that was how I'm proud to say that our center was the first, probably, in the region to do immunofluorescence for diagnostics. Okay, and that journey was also quite exciting, where at that time we didn't have these current kits which we have for anti-nuclear antibody testing and all that. So we had to work on liver sections. So I used to go to Russell Market every fortnight, and I also needed a cryostat, so that was also there. So go to Russell Market every fortnight and then get an albino rat and sacrifice it, do a frozen section on the liver, cut multiple sections, freeze them, and start doing immunofluorescence. So that was the time we moved. That was a paradigm shift in diagnostics from the latex testing to immunofluorescence, and that actually paved the way for a lot of other technical innovations and bringing in state-of-the-art technology. But the academician within me was still, rather I was interested in teaching, and that was still there and not realized at that point. And again, destiny. So a lot of turning points in my life have hovered around how destiny has molded the path. Dr. Ram Prasad, well-known figure, he came from an academic background, and I don't know if you heard of Dr. Nagalotimath. So Dr. Nagalotimath was his student, and he used to frequent the lab. Very, very often he used to come to the lab, and he started talking to me, and he used to address me as Jayram. In his own style of Kannada, he used to address me, and he said, "You have come from a premier institute. You have a lot of that kind of knowledge in pathology. I do not want it to go waste. I want you," it was an order, no choice, "I want you to start teaching the pathologists, students of Bangalore or Karnataka. So we have a CME in Belgaum and you are coming there. Within a year of my joining the lab, I was called as faculty for the CME. So that's how things. That's how my at least I gained some footage into on the stage, and then wanting to teach, and then that's how recognition came across, and there was no looking back after that. So it's been a long journey, but I think I'm very fortunate that there have not been major roadblocks, there have not been major disappointments in life. So I think I've been quite fortunate that way.
That's incredible, sir. You mentioned not major roadblocks. That is what I wanted to ask next. Was the road ever rocky? Did you ever feel that this boat was going to capsize or the waters were turbulent?
That way, no, except for the initial hiccups in the entrance exam. That was one thing which a roadblock that I saw. And the other roadblock was my wedding was soon after my exam. So you can imagine. So taken the exam and then people ask, aita, pass aita, ilva. And what do I say? Suppose I have failed. So mentally that was...
When it comes to laboratory medicines, we have the opportunities that it provides us and the biggest challenges that there can be. Would you like to compare and contrast with respect to India today?
Yeah. Okay, there are plenty of opportunities in India. But if I can boil down the opportunities and challenges to one factor, I think a common factor there is the advancement in technology. The laboratory medicine as such is progressing leaps and bounds. We all know that what is there today, tomorrow it's probably an obsolete technology. And the biggest challenge for the laboratory medicine personnel is to keep abreast with the technology, to keep pace with that advancement. And somewhere one would tend to get lost out in that race. So that is a challenge, and especially for somebody who wants to practice contemporary and state-of-the-art pathology. That's always they need to be running. So that is a major challenge, but the same thing, if realized properly, is an opportunity. That you are in the forefront. You can master whatever, even if you split the entire thing into different compartments, concentrate on certain compartments, you are the leader in that. So that is a great opportunity as far as laboratory medicine in general is concerned. How it applies to India, I don't think it's going to be any different from at least being aware of technology, knowing how to practice and implement this technology meaningfully for the welfare of your patient. I think those are the two important things which we have the potential to do that.
So what, according to you, would be that part of Indian pathology that's going to put us in the global forefront? And where is it? Where do you see this going?
Like, you mean I look at oncopathology and the other specialties and then research and all that. If you look at the other aspects of pathology, like even oncopathology for that matter, our practice of oncopathology greatly mimics, or it's a reflection of what has already been practiced in the West or in the developed countries. So if you look at all that aspect of it, in my view, what we have and the wealth of experience, wealth of data we have lies in infectious diseases, lies in pathology and pathogenesis of infectious diseases. It lies in the way in which we can diagnose and perform even research in these areas. And that, I feel, is something which is with us. That information is with us, and that's where we could lead the world in in laboratory diagnostics. But otherwise, I think each one of us in our country has that intelligence, that diligence, that hard work, and the aptitude to match up with any other individual across the world. But authentic data which we have is infectious disease.
By virtue of our population, I
Population,
think the data that we have
geography,
is
lifestyle, social, whatever you can call it. So we have a lot of data there.
Tap on data.
Yep.
Your name now, sir, is very synonymous with quality assurance, quality control. How did you get into this sphere or this realm of quality assessments?
Do you want an answer which will appeal to the audience, or
Very honest answer.
an honest answer, or maybe both?
Both, perhaps.
So for the audience, it's very important that we should maintain quality practices, and quality is there in every walk of life, blah blah blah. Right. So my innate, I can't call myself a perfectionist, but I would like things to be in order.
Correct.
Maybe that trait itself drove me towards focusing on how we can improve upon what we are doing. And again, there, destiny did play a role. Our lab was fairly well advanced at that time. I'm talking about 1999, 2000. Around that time, 25 years ago, that was a time when accreditation just came into all our radar. People were talking about accreditation, and again, being associated, having attended a lot of conferences by then, I had interacted with a lot of senior pathologists who were active with NABL, who were active with the quality scenario, and one such gentleman was Dr. Sood. Okay, Dr. Sood was there, and then we had another biochemist, Dr. Kanaka Savapati, who was heading the biochemistry in Vellore. So all these, they were the doyens of quality implementation in the country. And they said, why don't you, I think your lab should go and get itself accredited. We will help you. So start preparing your documents. That's where I got into, because that time it was Dr. Ram Prasad and Dr. Me. Dr. Sujay was also there with us. But I took on the role of developing our documents. I took on the role of reading the standards. It was a common standard at that time, 17025. So that's how my journey into quality management actually took shape. And subsequently underwent training as an assessor, and then I went started associating with other training organizations, started training people, audited labs not only in India but again expanded, went over to the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, and various other countries, did a few in Nepal. So that's how, that part of my activity in quality system management went on an autopilot. But heart of heart, I think the challenge which I mentioned about laboratory medicine, that the pace with which laboratory medicine is galloping and the pace with which I am walking, I feel there has been a ever increasing gap. So concepts of quality, this is from my heart, concepts of quality don't change much, though the context in which you look at it is different. So I thought that's more stable ground. I prefer and I'm more comfortable on stable ground. So maybe that is one reason why I thought, okay, I'll focus a lot on quality system management. That was the secret, okay? But otherwise, my quest to improve quality among laboratories has been very strong, and that is one of the reasons why in Anand we started the proficiency testing program, which has been going on for almost 15 years now. So now we are accredited quality proficiency testing providers for external quality assessment in a wide range of analytes, including the routine and the very esoteric tests like molecular, the cytogenetics, histopath, and so on. So both go hand in hand.
So you mentioned about the ever evolving or fast paced evolution of laboratory medicine and how advanced it keeps getting. Do you think we are at par with global standards?
Yes and no. If you take the cross section of the country, no. But there are centers of excellence who I must say are equally good, if not better, than many other institutions. That the fact that many of these people, many of our own Indians for that matter, who are working in renowned institutions across the world, tend to collaborate with our pathologists, not necessarily for infection, but for even other diseases, and then obtain their data, obtain their expertise. We have a lot of our own Indians practicing in India who are on the editorial board of the Blue Books, who are on consensus studies as the co-authors. So I think we are there, but then that is institutional. It's not across. And I don't think we are there yet. It's going to be a very, very long journey.
What do you think we should do to make it?
The way in which the practice within our country, the way in which our demography is distributed, I don't think we can across uniformly achieve that quality, but then we definitely can build in gradations. We can build in different levels and identify what is ground reality at this point and then see how we can do better there. Keeping in mind the resources available, keeping in mind the need, because you're always looking at primary, secondary, tertiary, and how the tertiary, first you need to target the tertiary organizations, see whether they are up to date, they are up to speed with the developments or not. Then you start looking at the others.
Thank you all for watching this, and please do like, share and subscribe to the KC-IAPM social media channel. You can also subscribe to the newsletter PathVarna on www.pathvarna@kciapm.com or write to us at pathvarna@kciapm@gmail.com. Thank you.